Arab Emirates, UAE.
I am the passion. I am the soul of a continent. I am a Nigerian.
We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We have the vision.
NTA International News.
Federal Executive Council approves new roadmap for agricultural revolution in Nigeria in the quest for economic diversification. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo tasked stakeholders in the petroleum sector to maximize the potentials in oil and gas for national development. Plus, Minister of State Solid Minerals Bawa Buhari in China seeks partnership for development in solid minerals sector. Hello there, it's good to have you join us on the news on NTA International. I am Shegun Lawale. The Federal Executive Council said
grains like rice, maize, beans. We may not have achieved everything in wheat, but we'll be very close to our targets.
The Minister of Agriculture used the forum to give highlights on the steps taken so far towards ensuring improved security situation in the agricultural sector.
Many more farmers are coming in, including foreign investors. We have to take measures to make sure that people who invest are protected. Because the farmer has no right to go and buy an AK-47 and try to protect himself. But the Civil Defense Corps are legitimately
Request by the Kaduna State government on the redesignation of the 18-kilometer Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway and the 19-kilometer Ahmadu Bello Way belonging to the federal government as state roads.
So that they will have the power without any inhibition to work on the roads to make them better for Kaduna indigents. The council was pleased, and we call on other excellencies, state governors that can afford to take over federal roads to lessen the burden on the federal government and to enable them repair roads and maintain them as quick as possible so that they don't go into total deterioration.
It's been done before. Ikorodu Road was handed over.
Kind. In implementation, the main issues of governance are addressed.
And the National Assembly is trying at least to fulfill that section of the provision of the Constitution that says whatever that is happening in the oil industry, it is the National Assembly that will take the lead.
the interactive session organized by the House of Representatives on petroleum industry reform witnessed relevant bodies appealing to the legislature to urgently pass the petroleum industry bill currently before the 8th National Assembly. Participants drawn from host communities, traditional rulers, NGOs and professional organizations spoke on the challenges and opportunities inherent in the PI bill. Senate President Bukola Saraki has given the assurance of adequate support towards a speedy rehabilitation and resettlement of IDPs in the Northeast. He described the condition of IDPs as pathetic, requiring urgent assistance from all. The Senate President was speaking while on working visit to Borno State. Muhammad Goni completes the story.
At the nursing village, where the malnourished children and their mothers are receiving treatment, the Senate President was informed that over 1,000 malnourished children brought from Bama had already been treated and discharged. They were brought to Maiduguri for immediate medical attention and to give them food supplement. adding that a stabilization center had already been established at a specialist hospital to give them the needed medical attention, including their parents and the elderly. In a remark, the Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki said he was happy to see the children in good condition and commended the Borno State government for catering to the needs of the children and other IDPs.
But I think it has also challenged us as a country, because this responsibility is not only for Borno State. And I want to assure you that we will continue to fight, that all of us are part of government. We must feel the presence of government here in Borno State.
Health Commissioner Dr. Haruna Michelia said, as at the last visit to Bama, there is no case of malnourishment. Briefing newsmen, the Senate President said the bill for the creation of the Northeast Development Commission will be given accelerated hearing and passage by the Senate to pave way for early reconstruction and resettlement of the IDPs.
Lack of having a proper structure to coordinate both international donation, state donation, individual is also hampering that. So all the load is on the state government. I think if there's an institution which has been mandated to do that, then it knows that he has a responsibility.
The Senate President later condoled the Shehu of Borno and the family of late Dr. Shetima Ali Mongono. Similarly, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was also in Maiduguri.
The Navy becomes more modern, sophisticated, potent and aggressive in the course of carrying out its statutory role of defending the nation's maritime domain. The committee made the commitment during a working visit to the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete-Ibas in Abuja. Lajide Bello reports.
Falcon is a maritime surveillance system which is new in the Nigerian system and is capable of monitoring the entire Nigerian waterways.
The working visit by the Senate Committee on Navy to the Chief of Naval Staff availed both parties the opportunity to critically analyze the challenges bedeviling the Nigerian Navy and the way forward. Highlighting some of the challenges confronting the Nigerian Navy, Vice Admiral Ibok Ibas says include shortage of platforms, limited maritime domain awareness capability, inadequate and dilapidated jetties, weak hydrographic survey capability, as well as inadequate funding.
The overhead expenditure budget is inadequate in the face of rising costs and increased burden of curbing criminalities in the nation's waters. This might likely impinge on the ability of the service to maintain sufficient presence at sea.
Despite these challenges, the Chief of Naval Staff says the Navy has been preoccupied with training and military policing of emerging crimes on the country's waterways. Chairman Senate Committee and Navy Senator Issa Hamad Misal says the committee will not relent towards ensuring that the Nigerian Navy is adequately funded for efficient and effective performance of its statutory duties.
The committee will work and partner assiduously with the Navy to ensure that opportunities are explored towards ensuring that the Nigerian Navy becomes more modern.
In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Minister of State Solid Minerals Development, Abubakar Bawa Buhari, has completed a tour of some facilities in China with the aim of securing partnership for development of the solid minerals sector in Nigeria. Before he left China, he also solicited the help of the Nigerian embassy staff in Beijing in attracting more investors and growth of the economy. Julieta Aino has details.
Rich in investment funds and investors skilled in the development of all sectors of the economy, China has become an important development partner for Nigeria. The search for new prospects in the solid minerals and these related sectors brought the Minister of State Abubakar Bawa Buhari to China. He is looking for Chinese companies to put funds, skilled manpower and technology into geological surveys, data collection and others that can help put solid minerals back on the top of the Nigerian economic scale, in line with the federal government's policy to diversify the economy.
We intend to move it a step further in the long run to encourage them to come to our country to do exactly what they are doing here.
At a meeting with Nigerian embassy officials in Beijing, the minister and his entourage commended the staff for their role in the increase of Chinese investors in Nigeria. He noted their challenges and asked for support in the solid minerals sector, urging all Nigerians wherever they are to join in building the country by being patriotic, working always in the interest of the country.
the regulators can say who is the diver. We regulate and also issue certificates in diving.
The Occupational Safety and Health Department of the Ministry is to study the draft diving regulations and review it to be in tandem with the codes of practice in the diving profession. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on NTA International from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. We have more news after the break. Join us in a moment.
Targets these citizens and exploit their competencies for national growth and development.
This year's conference, therefore, will focus on obtaining firm commitments from Nigerians in the diaspora, directed at solving some of our national challenges. This administration is ready to partner with Nigerians in the diaspora on how they can assist, for instance, internally displaced persons in the Northeast region, on how through medical interventions they can improve healthcare delivery across the country, and on how they can assist government, the youth empowerment and employment generation.
About 300 Nigerians in the diaspora are expected at this year's Diaspora Day.
In murder cases and proper forensic storage.
Many countries still have cold cases across the border, but the main thing is, what is the policies, what are the procedures that the government has in place to prioritize what cold cases are brought forward?
Regrettably, in this country, the police has not been given the attention it rightly deserves.
Murder cases in Nigeria hardly get resolved because our police, in every sense of the word, were not fully equipped to do the job.
We need to have a policy whereby we say the police agency must do its very best in resolving every murder case, particularly when we say assassination.
They emphasize that the judicial process be enhanced to quicken trial of murder cases and the punishment of guilty parties. In Abuja, Abdulmalik Adio, NTA News.
And now for news in the business world, Olayinka Ojo is our guide.
Welcome to Business News. In the last 6 months, the prices of essential food items has risen significantly in consonance with rising.
President Salva Kiir and troops backing the country's Vice President Riek Machar. Still in Africa, the United Nations Food Agency has declared its highest level emergency in drought-stricken Southern Africa. It's appealing for $204 million to immediately purchase food to help millions of hungry people in the region. World Food Programme Executive Catherine Cousins said the drought has devastated crops and caused harvest to fail in Southern Africa. Currently, she explained, over 18 million people are in need of assistance in 7 countries severely affected by the disaster. And from reports outside the shores of Africa indicate that more than 50,000 people have been sacked and suspended from their jobs by Turkey's government in the wake of last week's failed coup. The purge of those deemed disloyal to President widened to include teachers, university deans, and the media. Ilyasu Aliakub, NTA News.
In our sports, Nigerian Football Federation on next step after Luguin's appointment. Mazi Marcos has details of these and other stories in the sports arena.
As Nigerians continue to ponder in anger over the appointment or non-appointment of Paul Le Guen as technical advisor of the Super Eagles, the NFF Executive Committee said it is working towards finding a solution.
The coach said he is not ready to accept any condition and he will not stay in Nigeria. And therefore, the board of the Nigeria Football Federation is going to meet and discuss the issue.
The Nigerian Wrestling Federation has chosen 7 wrestlers to represent the country at the Rio 2016 Olympics. They comprise 5 women and 2 men.
The players are ready to come home with medals. Well, as a coach, I believe in them.
gold medalist. He knows what it takes to become an Olympic champion. So he has given us